Across this planet, there are roads that look like a quiet invitation. But that beauty is only safe from a distance. Once the wheels start moving, everything feels completely different. The mountainside presses tight against your side. A deep drop opens up just beyond the edge of the road. Fog hides the next turn ahead. Snow can bury the path without warning. Sand quietly wipes away tire tracks like it doesn't want anyone getting out. And still, people keep going in. Not to admire the view, but to make it through a place that's always waiting for them to make one mistake. Out here, being a good driver has never been enough. You have to hold the wheel tight, feel every vibration under the tires, and stay calm when the next turn refuses to show what's waiting beyond it. These are no longer ordinary trips. This is a journey across the most dangerous roads in the world, where every kilometer pushes drivers to their limit. North Yungas Road, Bolivia. Many lives have been left behind on this route. In 1995, the IDB called North Yungas the world's most dangerous road. The 64-kilometer route hugs sheer cliffs before plunging more than 3,450 meters in altitude. In just a few hours of driving, the scenery shifts from the peaks of the Andes to the Amazon rainforest. You'll encounter waterfalls pouring directly onto the road. Because of this, the ground here is always uneven, damp, and slippery year-round. In the narrowest sections, the road is only 3 meters wide. Meanwhile, an abyss up to 1,000 meters deep lies right at the edge of your tires. A single wrong turn of the wheel is enough to make you disappear forever. The crosses planted along the road are a living testament to the tragedies. They have remained there for years, like a warning to all who dare to test their skills on this road. Kishtwar-Killar Road, India. Welcome to the Cliffhanger, the most dangerous road in India. It connects the Kishtwar region of Jammu and Kashmir with the Pangi Valley. On one side, mountain rock. On the other, a 600-meter deep abyss overlooking the Chenab River. No guardrails, no signs, no GPS. Hold your breath and stay focused. Deadly curves are appearing one after another, right before your eyes. The rock ceiling is so close, you can touch it with your head. Meanwhile, your tires are just a few dozen centimeters from the cliff's edge. The road surface is a chaotic mix of dirt, sand, and loose rock. It has never been paved since local people carved it out hundreds of years ago. In 2013, mountaineer Mick Fowler had to cross this road to reach the base of Kishtwar-Killar. He said the journey on the road was scarier than climbing the 6,451-meter peak. Kishtwar-Killar Pass, India. Located deep in the Himalayas at an altitude of 3,528 meters, Kishtwar-Killar Pass on the Srinagar-Leh highway is like a thin line carved across the mountainside. On one side, empty space. On the other, sharp rock faces. This 193-kilometer road is only wide enough for one lane, but vehicles still have to pass each other every day. You're driving on a surface of loose gravel. Hairpin turns come at you one after another. If you're half a second late with a turn, your wheels could slide off the edge of the road instantly. In winter here, snow piles up all around, turning Kishtwar-Killar into a breathtakingly narrow ice corridor. Temperatures drop to minus 44 degrees Celsius. Every time you brake, it's a gamble. Every turn is a challenge you're not allowed to give up on. This is the only lifeline connecting Ladakh to the rest of India. Despite the danger, people still crave to conquer it, because no other road in the world gives you a feeling like this. Karakoram Highway, Pakistan/China. Dubbed the eighth wonder of the world, the Karakoram Highway stretches over 1,300 kilometers. It cuts through the three largest mountain ranges on the planet and peaks at an altitude of 4,714 meters above sea level. This transport route is a real-life nightmare. The cliffs lean out over the road as if wanting to swallow everything. The river below roars endlessly. Here, reflexes are more important than anything else. Livestock appear in the middle of the road without warning. Sharp, blind U-turns completely block your view. Everything seems to be challenging your driving skills. And the terror of the Karakoram doesn't just exist today. This road was built with the lives of 800 workers. On average, one person died for every 1.5 kilometers. That's not a statistic. It's history lying right under your wheels. A reminder that this road has never been easy for anyone who dares to set foot on it. Simpson Desert, Australia. The government has to order it closed during the summer. Not because of war, not because of disease, but because it's so dangerous that humans can't protect themselves. Covering 176,500 square kilometers, this is the world's largest parallel sand dune desert. To enter, you are required to mount a 3.5-meter high safety flag on your vehicle's roof. Not for looks, but so other vehicles can see you in time to avoid a collision. You will have to drive over 1,136 consecutive sand dunes. The average speed is only 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. Tire pressure must be lowered to the correct level. If you don't comply, your tires will blow out immediately. The temperature in the desert can reach 50 degrees Celsius. There is zero cell service. The nearest gas station is hundreds of kilometers away. Guoliang Tunnel, China. Located in Henan Province, China, the Guoliang Tunnel cuts straight through sheer red cliffs hundreds of meters high in the Taihang Mountains. A giant rock mass presses down from above. A deep abyss lies right at the edge of your tires. At 1,200 meters long, the road is only 4 meters wide, making every encounter with another vehicle a tense moment. Driving into the tunnel, you'll have to turn on your low beams to see the rough road surface ahead. Rockfall nets hang right overhead, making every meter of the road feel like you're driving under a waiting threat. Then, windows appear. Over 30 of them, in different shapes and sizes, carved right into the cliff face. There's nothing between you and the open air except your own hands gripping the steering wheel. This road was carved by hand by 13 villagers over 5 years, using only basic tools and human strength. Locals call it a driving test, the kind of test where, if you fail, you don't get a second chance. Rohtang Pass, India. Some roads are named for their scenery, their history, or their pioneers, but this pass has a much grimmer name. In Persian, Rohtang means pile of corpses. The route is located at an altitude of 3,979 meters in the Himalayas, in the state of Himachal Pradesh. It's also the only gateway connecting the Kulu Valley with the Lahaul and Spiti Highlands to the north. Under your wheels right now is a soaked and slippery road surface. On both sides are walls of snow as tall as a person that have just been cleared. Hairpin turns appear one after another. You have to gauge your speed perfectly. If you slow down at the wrong moment, the car could lose momentum or swerve. Here, every press of the brake must be calculated. A 12-hour traffic jam in Rohtang isn't an incident. It's normal. Trucks, buses, and tourist vehicles often have to squeeze past each other on a single lane. Leh Manali Highway, India. Connecting the town of Manali to Leh, the Leh-Manali Highway is 428 kilometers long, cutting through 4 treacherous passes. Most of the route is above 4,000 meters, before peaking at 5,328 meters. The first few kilometers look quite pleasant. The asphalt is still smooth. The majestic Himalayas stretch out, captivating you immediately. But the deeper you go, the more the temperature around you drops. Your wheels start to lose grip on the rock and mud. Snow is piled high on both sides, turning the path into a narrow ice corridor. In front of you now is a road surface as slick as grease. Things get worse when huge sections of rock jut out over the roof of your car. The right wheels are against the cliff face. The left wheels are on the edge of the abyss. Guardrails or safe stopping points clearly don't exist. On the Leh Manali, driving skill won't help you conquer this road. It will only help you survive. Trollstigen, Norway. In Norwegian, Trollstigen means troll's ladder. And when you see this route from above, you'll understand why. "11 hairpin turns stack on top of each other like a giant staircase. They climb straight up the mountainside in the Møre og Romsdal region. The road is smoothly paved, seeming easier to conquer than all the places you've just been. But don't let its appearance fool you. The average gradient of the road is 9 to 10%, with some sections reaching 12%. Meanwhile, thick fog can wipe out your visibility in seconds. However, what makes Trollstigen the biggest psychological challenge is its beauty. Lush, green valleys open up after each turn. The 320-meter-high Stigfossen waterfall cascades down right next to your car door. It's so beautiful you want to stare forever, while your eyes have to stay locked on the road. Kahekili Highway, USA. Located on the island of Maui, Hawaii, the Kahekili Highway is the only road on this journey that's in the middle of paradise. And that's exactly what makes it more terrifying than all the rest. From a distance, you'll see the route winding gently along the coastline. It's smoothly paved and seems completely harmless. But if you think this is just a vacation spot, you've made your first mistake. In the narrowest sections, the road is a mere 3.5 meters wide, a sheer cliff on one side. The edge drops straight down to the Pacific Ocean on the other. No guardrails, no streetlights. The maximum speed you're allowed to drive on this road to stay safe is just 15 miles per hour. The most dangerous section is the 4.5 miles around the village of Kahakuloa. This is where many car rental companies refuse to provide insurance if customers drive there. D915, Bayburt Pass, Turkey. They call it the Highway from Hell. Readers of dangerousroads.org voted it more dangerous than North Yungas in Bolivia. That's the D915, Bayburt in Turkey. The road stretches 106 kilometers, connecting the city of Bayburt with the town of Off on the Black Sea coast. The journey continues over the Surreal Pass at an altitude of 2,330 meters. The beginning is smoothly paved, but that's just the opener. The deeper you go, the narrower the road ahead becomes. The gradient starts to increase sharply, and the surface gradually turns into gravel and mud. The scariest part is the Deribasha turns. 13 consecutive hairpin turns climb straight up the mountainside with a gradient of up to 17%. You have to back up and make multi-point turns to get through. More than 100 years after it was built, the D915 remains almost exactly the same. Not because no one wants to fix it, but because the terrain doesn't allow humans to do anything more. Pamir Highway, Central Asia. (1,252 kilometers through the Pamir Mountains, from Osh in Kyrgyzstan to Dushanbe in Tajikistan. That's the journey you have to take to conquer the Pamir Highway. This is the second highest international highway in the world, with its highest point reaching 4,655 meters at the Akbaytal Pass. Most of the journey is at an altitude of over 2,500 meters. The air starts to thin, your body gets tired faster than you think, and your driving reflexes slow down with it. Landslides, rock falls, and mud flows can wipe out kilometers of road at any time. A single second of slow reaction can be a fatal mistake. The Pamir Highway has existed for thousands of years. The landscape is almost unchanged. The road is getting worse and worse. But everyone who has traveled it says the same thing. No journey in the world is as spine-chilling as this one. Nine Arches Bridge, Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, there's a bridge that locals call the Nine Arch Bridge. 9 stone arches, 24 meters high, 91 meters long, without a single piece of steel. And it's one of the most dangerous paths you can set foot on. You're sitting on a train car. The windows are wide open, The wind blows straight in your face. Green tea plantations stretch out on both sides. It's so beautiful that your hand automatically reaches out, wanting to take a picture, wanting to shoot a video. Absolutely do not do that. The Candy-Ella line has over 40 tunnels. They appear without warning. The distance from the edge of the train window to the tunnel wall is only a few dozen centimeters. There's no time to react, no time to pull your hand back in. An accident can happen at the moment you're most excited. If you come here, just look with your eyes. Don't forget, the most beautiful bridge in the world isn't worth trading for anything. Fairy Meadows Road, Pakistan. Located deep in the Himalayas in Gilgit-Baltistan, Fairy Meadows has a name that sounds like a fairy tale. However, it's ranked by the WHO as the second deadliest road in the world. The Fairy Meadows journey is a 15-kilometer stretch from Raikot Bridge up to the village of Tato. The road surface is rough gravel and has never been paved. It's just wide enough for a single jeep to pass. Here, even if you have a license, even if you have experience, you still have to be a passenger. Only local drivers are allowed behind the wheel. Looking out the passenger window, you'll see the wheels rolling right on the edge of the abyss. In the distance, the peak of Nanga Parbat appears. This mountain claimed 62 lives before it was first conquered in 1953. And at the end of the road is one of the most beautiful sights in Pakistan. The lush green meadow at the end of the journey is a worthy reward for those who can overcome their fear. Stelvio Pass, Italy. In 2008, Top Gear called this the greatest driving road in the world. Since then, countless drivers have come here to test their limits. That's the Stelvio Pass, located at an altitude of 2,757 meters in the northern Italian Alps. 48 hairpin turns are stacked on top of each other, each numbered with its own milestone. Each 180-degree turn must be taken at a speed no greater than 30 kilometers per hour. Too fast, and the car will swerve into the oncoming lane. Too slow, and you'll lose momentum on the steep incline. The air here is thinner than at sea level. The engine loses power, and of course, so do your reflexes. Even Sterling Moss, the F1 legend, once drove his car off the road here. Stelvio isn't dangerous because of the abyss. It's dangerous because it demands you to be perfect for 47 relentless kilometers. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. Skipper's Canyon is a deadly road that was blasted out of rock by miners in 1883, created to access a gold-rich valley. Hanging precariously on the side of a cliff, this narrow strip of land is just wide enough for one vehicle and has absolutely no guardrails. The surface is so loose that the edge of the road can crumble right under your tires. On one side is a drop of hundreds of meters down to the Shotover River. On the other is a jagged slate cliff face. In narrow sections where you have to reverse to let others pass, just one shaky press of the brake could send you plunging onto the jagged rocks at the bottom of the river. What sends a chill down many drivers' spines is that all insurance companies refuse to cover you if you drive here. The valley floor is still littered with the wrecked remains of countless cars, a reminder of the horrific accidents when vehicles slid in the mud near the cliff edge. Nariz del Diablo, Ecuador. Connecting Alausi and Sibambe in Ecuador, Nariz del Diablo is a treacherous zigzag railway that has clung to a sheer cliff face since 1899. To climb the 2,300-meter altitude on the extremely narrow cliff, the train can't go straight up, but must approach the edge of the abyss and then reverse in a Z pattern. The width of the tracks is just enough to fit the massive train. Death awaits you in the manual track switching mechanism and the train's antiquated braking system. A single, small error is enough to send the train plunging into the 500-meter deep abyss. The history here is soaked in the blood of over 2,500 workers who died from dynamite and disease. Locals believe that every railroad tie on this route was paid for with a human life to settle a debt with the devil. Dalton Highway, USA. Built in 1974 to serve the Prudhoe Bay oil fields, the James W. Dalton Highway is a 666-kilometer gray scar cutting across the Alaskan tundra. With 75% of its surface being gravel and mud, it challenges every driver as it crosses the 1,444-meter-high Atigun Pass. Here, there's no cell service, no gas stations, and winter temperatures can drop to minus 60 degrees Celsius. Whiteout snowstorms frequently erase the line between the road and the abyss. The Dalton is also a mecca for heavy truck drivers. Rollovers and horrific accidents with shattered windshields from flying rocks are everyday occurrences when you drive on this road. As dangerous as it is, the Dalton is where adventurers come to witness the brilliant northern lights. It's the only path that lets you touch the very edge of the Arctic Ocean, amidst the magnificent beauty of nature and ultimate fear. Akashi-Kaikyo Bridge, Japan. For over 2 decades, the Akashi-Kaikyo was the longest suspension bridge in the world. It spans the Akashi Strait, connecting Honshu Island with Awaji Island. From a distance, you'll see two 282-meter-tall towers standing majestically on either side of the strait. The main span is 1,991 meters long, with nearly 2 kilometers of it supported only by steel cables. The total length of the cables, if stretched out, would be enough to circle the Earth 7.5 times. When you drive across it, the bridge deck will shake and sway under your wheels. This isn't a sign of danger. It's an intentional design. "20 giant dampers in each tower oscillate in the opposite direction of the wind. They can keep the entire bridge structure from collapsing in winds of up to 286 kilometers per hour. While the structure was under construction, the 1995 Kobe earthquake struck. Due to the tremors, the 2 towers were pushed 1 meter farther apart, changing the main span from 1,990 meters to 1,991 meters. a world record created by a natural disaster. Passage du Gois, France. In the Vendée coastal region, there is a road that only appears when the ocean allows it. This is the Passage du Gois, 4.1 kilometers long, likened to the challenging, disappearing backbone of a beast. This is where you have to gamble with time, having only 90 minutes to cross before the tide rises and erases all traces of the road. There are no guardrails whatsoever, only solitary rescue poles standing in the vast expanse of water. Its history is tied to haunting tales, from the horrific crash of the 1999 Tour de France to the ghosts of travelers said to still linger in the swift currents. If you plan to challenge the Passage du Gois, remember, just 1 minute late, and the mud and fierce waves will turn your journey into a one-way trip. Gotthard Pass, Switzerland. In 1799, Marshal Suvorov led 22,000 Russian troops across this pass under a hail of bullets, leaving 600 bodies at the foot of the mountain. That's the Gotthard Pass, situated at an altitude of 2,106 meters, a 1,000-year-old gateway connecting northern Europe with the Mediterranean. Today, you have two options to cross this pass. One is the modern, wide, comfortable, and safe road, which is unremarkable. The other is the Tremola, a cobblestone road hand-paved in 1827. It stretches 11.3 kilometers with 24 consecutive hairpin turns. When you choose the Tremola, everything changes completely. The wheels roll over rough cobblestones, shaking constantly. The gradient reaches 13% in the toughest sections. When it rains, the cobblestones become as slick as glass. Fog at an altitude of 2,000 meters can wipe out visibility in minutes, right before a blind curve with no warning. This road was designed for horse-drawn carriages, not for you and your modern car. But if you're brave enough to choose the Tremola instead of the paved road next to it, you'll understand why Suvorov chose this place to write his most heroic chapter of history. Bamboo Train, Cambodia. Have you ever sat on a bamboo platform, speeding along at 40 kilometers per hour on rusty rails? That's the experience on the bamboo train, the world's strangest mode of transport in Cambodia. There are no comfortable seats. You'll get a taste of dust, scorching heat, and the heart-stopping feeling of shaking as the iron wheels grind on the tracks. Beyond the danger, each Nori trip is a moving story of survival. It was once a lifeline for transporting food through landslide-prone areas when the country was still devastated after the war. The most interesting part is the culture of yielding. The train with less cargo is disassembled to let the other pass, creating a rhythmic coordination. Amidst the wild landscape, the crisp sound of the engine is like a declaration from the people of Battambang. Even with just a bamboo platform and a pair of iron wheels, they will never stop. Collie Hills Road, India. Located in the state of Tamil Nadu, the road leading up to the Collie Plateau is over 25 kilometers long. It climbs continuously through the Eastern Ghats to reach an altitude of about 1,000 to 1,300 meters. "70 hairpin turns follow one after another in quick succession, making your journey feel like a never-ending test of nerves." Collie Hills becomes most terrifying during the monsoon season from June to November. The road surface becomes as slippery as oil. Landslides are constant. Thick fog can swallow your entire view in just a few seconds. Besides the danger, Collie Hills also has a unique mystical atmosphere. The place is associated with many ancient legends about goddesses and spirits protecting the forest, making the mist on the mountaintop even more chilling. Laguna Garzón Bridge, Uruguay. At At just a few meters above sea level, the 323-meter-long Laguna Garzon Bridge is astonishing for its perfect circular design, consisting of two symmetrical curved lanes. Instead of using reinforced glass, the structure focuses on wooden pedestrian walkways running along its perimeter. It allows you to feel the salty sea breeze on your skin. Completed in 2015, it was the solution to a decades-long debate about connecting the Rocha and Maldonado departments, which were separated by a lagoon. The story behind the circular design is not just about art, but also contains a humane message, forcing vehicles to slow down, allowing people to admire the pristine beauty of the land and sky. Mono Lake, Tufa Towers, USA. What you see before you is not a scene from Mars. This is the 760,000-year-old Mono Lake, located at an altitude of nearly 2,000 meters east of the Sierra Nevada range. Gray-white tufa towers up to 9 meters high, rise from the still water. They are twisted and bizarre, as if nature sculpted them for hundreds of years at the bottom of the lake. Don't let that beauty fool you. The lake's water has a pH of 9.8, extremely alkaline, almost like bleach. The arsenic level is also 6 times higher than the safe limit. After more than 20 minutes of immersion here, your skin will start to burn. When the wind blows, dust from the lake bed carries toxic particles. It's dangerous for your lungs, heart, and respiratory system. And underneath all of that, volcanic activity is still ongoing. The last eruption was only 300 years ago. The Tufa Towers you see now are only exposed because humans drained the lake to supply water to Los Angeles. That beauty is the product of a decades-long ecological disaster. The wheels have stopped, but the breathtaking feeling is probably still with you right now. Would you be brave enough to get behind the wheel on one of these deadly roads? Which location sent a shiver down your spine? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next heart-pounding journeys. See you next time.